Oh man, I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm too angry. I'm too angry. Hey, you! Stop everything. This is important. Stay tuned because we do not want you to be a Disney don't. I'm a happy-go-lucky dude. Oh, this was really stretching my acting powers. Hopefully I was okay. Hopefully you're not too angry at me, guys. Please.
It was okay.
Okay.
It was okay.
Okay, good. But seriously though, these things that we're gonna talk about, just don't do.
Just don't.
Don't even think about doing them when you're in the Disney parks. Like, please.
When you do these things, like,
Oh,
you make me angry. So angry. It's
it's things that clog my toilet. Is that a good expression?
no,
you know?
don't say that.
You know, that get my knickers in a twist.
Stop.
Shall I keep going?
No, I
See,
just-
it's that kind of stuff that just gets me so riled up.
Yeah, it's horrible. There are so many things that people do at Disney that need to stop. Don't
Cold
do
turkey.
these things.
Please.
People hate you when you do these things. Don't do them. Like, I'm already mad thinking about these people. Don't.
I could just feel like the
Like,
heat
it's not
radiation off him.
it's not even a simple thing of like, I can get a mistake. Mistakes happen. I get that.
Right, because they're not like predetermined. Like they just happen.
Yeah.
Then you learn from them. Learn from them so they don't happen again.
But there's certain things that people do that it's like, you made a willing choice to do this thing. And it's to the point where some things are just like, you should be slapped in the face.
Get a nice 5-star.
Like, ridiculously dumb things. Okay, so guys, let's get into this. Okay,
Yes, please.
I don't. Okay, so let's start off with one. I'm gonna start off with one.
Go for
that drives me up a wall.
Do it.
Okay, when you are at Disney and you see somebody standing in like, watching a fireworks show or a stage show or whatever, the most annoying thing, don't walk in front of people that are standing there. Don't walk in front of somebody and just all of a sudden block people. Like, it's one thing.
Why?
It's one thing when you're trying to walk and you put your kid on your shoulders and you walk somewhere and it's like, okay, there's nobody really around, so I'm gonna put them on my shoulders because my kid can't really see. I'm gonna pick them up, whatever. That's fine. But then when you do that, or when you don't do that, but like you're all there, and you literally go in front of another family to do that, it's like, okay, I understand that, but now this family with kids, or even if they don't have kids, they were sitting there minding their business, being there earlier than you were to watch this fireworks show, parade, whatever the case is. They were responsible with their time, and then you go right in front of them. And I'm not blaming the kids, I'm blaming the adults. You should have planned more. So then you put your kids on your shoulders and you're blocking other people and their kids who have waited and been respectful of time. And then it's just annoying. It's completely annoying. I understand, you want to get things done. Well, you only have 24 hours just like everybody else.
Yeah. Be respectful.
It's beyond disrespectful. I understand you paid thousands of dollars to go to Disney. Well, so did they. So when you just walk right in front of them, like they're not there, like, seriously, people, come on. Oh my gosh.
That was a good one to start off with.
Like, right? Like,
It should be brought up. Yeah, for sure. Because everybody has dealt with it, and a lot of people are also the source of the problem too. So it's like,
it's just
it needs to be fixed.
absolutely
It's just common courtesy.
annoying.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That's one of them. There's going to be more of them, I guarantee it. But Greg, do you have another one?
So, okay, for me, I'm gonna do a slow build up. I'm gonna start off with some things that mildly annoy me, and then by the end of the episode, I might be throwing some hands here. I might be getting animated, I might be walking around doing some angry pacing, if you know what that is. So anyway, to start things off, this is a simple one, but it goes a long way, okay? You can...
Okay. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, I get it. you're in a Disney park, you're walking around, it's hot, you know, sometimes the clothes you wear aren't breathable. Make sure you wear deodorant. For me, I'm very sensitive when it comes to smell. My olfactory senses are very, very high tuned. And if I'm stuck in a queue with you and you happen to not be wearing deodorant, or maybe you do and it just wore off, well, do a couple extra swipes here, okay? Okay? Seriously. I mean...
So mine was serious, and then there's this guy. Hey, your BO
Smell
sucks.
nice. Smell nice. Yes, no one wants to smell your BO. And don't tell me that you can't smell it. People are like, oh, okay, it's coming from me. I don't know. I'm used to it. No. When you have that kind of BO, you definitely notice it. If anything, maybe just like close up your arms, you know, so the smell doesn't permeate. Okay, skin isn't porous. So just stick it in for the entirety of the ride, or just bring some travel mini deodorant. Please, I beg of you. And go down like the Old Spice route, okay? Because I'm a fan of Old Spice. You will have a friend for life if you Old Spice yourself in front of me in line when you're at Disney. That knows you care.
I like how I was completely serious about some big thing, and then there's...
Hey, I'm serious too. BO is a serious problem that a lot of people just are ignorant about, or they say, oh, really? That happened? I didn't smell it. Well, yes, everybody smells it. Everybody knows. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
It's true.
I see.
All right. So, another one that's a big frustration of mine. When you're in a line and you need to get out to go use the restroom, or if your friends are in line and you weren't with them when they got in line, you don't jump ahead.
No.
That's ridiculous. That is not everybody else's fault that you had to go to the bathroom. That's not everybody else's fault that you didn't show up when the rest of your group got there. Those people who are behind your friends and now you showed up late, they were waiting. Once again, they were responsible. If you think you have to go to the bathroom, or if you know that you have to go to the bathroom but you're trying to hold it, whatever the case is, plan. If you know, hey, this ride's got an hour wait. I'm gonna stand there after drinking 3 bottles of water for an hour. Like, I get it. You want to get on the ride. You want to do this stuff. But you can be respectful to people. It comes down to simple planning a little bit. Like, the amount of just being completely discourteous. Like, when me and my wife have to take our kids, or my families have to take our kids, or they have to step out of to go to the bathroom, or somebody's hungry, or whatever, or somebody shows up late, we don't jump ahead. We don't. Or we don't try to get back in line with the family. We just don't. It's like, hey, if me and my daughter had to step out because I had to take her to the bathroom really quick, it's like, okay, well, we're going to have to wait to get back on the ride and get in line and wait for everybody else, or we wait until the next time the whole group can stay together. It's just that simple. Because my daughter had to go to the bathroom, or I had to go to the bathroom, whatever, I don't get the right to inconvenience everybody else. That's just awful. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like, I understand, like, parents have to leave their kids sometimes, and that's just how it happens. Like, when me and my wife would go on rides, and it was like me, my wife, and my daughter, and it was just all three, we sometimes left just for us three as a family unit, from the extended family. If we went on a ride and my daughter wanted to get off and go to the bathroom or whatever, we just all three left. I wasn't going to hold the line. My wife wasn't going to hold the line. That's not respectful to anybody else. Other people don't control my kid's bladder. Like, and they shouldn't have to pay for that. No. Be respectful. If you get out of line or show up late, you don't have the right to jump in front of everybody else. That's not your right. You don't have that right. At all. You should have planned. You should have thought better. And you should be respectful to everybody else. It's absolutely ridiculous. You don't do that. Sorry.
And it's also just awkward.
People are not going to like this podcast after this. They're going to be like, Chris, you are mean. I'm not mean. It's the simple fact of think about other people before yourself. Literally think about the idea of I do something and I don't show up on time, or if I have to step out of line, okay, you know what? I'm not going to jump in front of 30 people. That was my choice. Completely my choice. Not theirs. Mine. So what? Even if it was a bladder thing and I can't physically control it. They didn't make you do that. That was you stepping out of line to go to the bathroom.
Your decision, and you then have to,
Yeah.
quote unquote, pay the price.
I understand you can't control when you have to go to the bathroom sometimes. Neither can they, and they shouldn't have to pay for it.
Yep.
Just don't, people.
Just makes it a
Be
better
respectful.
experience.
Yes, because then you don't want a line of 30 people getting mad at you. And you
Yep.
don't want to start fights over it. It's just a very simple thing. Hey, I thought I was going to get on a ride with this group. Either I can ask the group, we can do it again, or I get in line by myself. And I can guarantee you, you're probably, if you're on vacation there for a week, you could probably get back on that ride still.
Yeah. You have enough time.
Sorry, that's another thing that's...
It's a good one. Again, very valid, very solid. Things that should be changed. For me, the next one is everyone enjoys going on rides and attractions, okay?
What?
I know, foreign, very foreign.
Not at Disney.
No, of course not. Why? But when you do, you expect to have a good time. I mean, even though you've gone on that ride multiple times before, there's a reason why you go back on it, because it's awesome. But every so often, you'll get some people who have also been on this ride multiple times, but they decide to overact, be obnoxiously loud during some of the parts of the ride. You know, maybe some jerks movements, or, you know, like in Haunted Mansion when the ceiling...
I was just going
know?
to bring this up. Okay, listen.
It's a real deal here that just really crumbles my cookie, folks.
I like that one.
Thank you. Okay,
I like that
okay,
one.
good,
I like that
good.
one. I like
I'm on
that
the
one.
right track here.
Okay, crumbling that cookie. That's what's up.
Don't crumble it.
Come on.
Don't.
Eat the cookie. Enjoy the cookie. Why would you
Yes,
crumble it? What's wrong
savor
with
it.
Come on, people.
Make a mess.
So here's the thing. Part of my family are the people that do that. And-
What?
Yes. And I have gotten into arguments. Like my wife and my sister-in-law do it. And I've scolded my wife. And I know I might get you can't scold your wife. Okay. I brought up to my wife, like, other people have probably not been on this ride. Don't ruin it.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I get it. I'm glad you have the whole thing memorized. They didn't come here to hear you say it.
Yeah.
I love my wife. I love my family. But this is one of those things, once again. People did not come to see you perform the act.
Yep.
Unless you're paid to perform the act, I don't care.
Or to dictate it verbatim, or even to just like yell at the top of your lungs during certain sequences. It just takes you out of the ride. It takes you out of the story. I remember one time, one of my favorite rides at Hollywood Studios is Star Tours, okay? I love going on there. And there was a bunch of teenagers. They were just having a fun time. They didn't care who was near them, or they just didn't care how they acted.
Yep.
And of course, other people are too polite to, you know, tell them, you know, to just calm down, be more mature. Because again, it's a ride that's only maybe 30 seconds to a minute.
I was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I had to switch up that time interval change there. But anyway, they were just shrieking left and right, and you're in an enclosed space in that Star Speeder 3000 or whatever. So like you really feel it. And for me, it was to a point where everyone was looking around at them saying, "Really, folks? Like, can you calm down? You're taking the enjoyment out of this ride by shrieking every second, and then just laughing, guffawing, giggling because all of your other friends are shrieking and freaking out." It was one of the most one of the most unpleasant experiences that I've been on in a Disney ride. And I felt bad for them, but I wish that those people wouldn't do it. But yet you come across them all the time.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I get it, folks. Like, I understand you love Disney.
And you're excited, sure.
Yes, I get that. I don't have a problem with it.
But
like, there's other people around who paid just as much money as you did to experience that thing.
be respectful, be courteous of it. Again, it just goes back to the basic principle. Just be courteous, be respectful.
Yeah.
And
like it's one thing. It's one thing if you're watching a show and the people in the show are trying to get audience response. That's one thing. like the laugh floor.
Yeah.
I know it's meant for a certain thing to engage the crowd.
No
That's the
issue with
point
that.
of it.
Yes.
That's totally fine. But, like, once again, with the Haunted Mansion or Tower of Terror, when people just scream for no reason, it's like, once again, some people might actually want to experience the ride without you screaming and being obnoxious. Other things too, it's like some people are probably actually scared of certain things, like Tower of Terror. Like, some people are probably actually afraid of heights, and you going out of your way to scare people is not helping either. So, like, just let them experience the ride the way it was meant to be experienced. Because
And when they're more comfortable, they'll enjoy the ride
and
better.
want to be back at Disney more.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the whole thing. Like, I don't know if you know this, but when these rides were created, you weren't hired on to be part of the show. So,
It's got a point.
just saying. I'm not saying don't have fun with those rides. Don't have fun with it.
There's a time and place for everything.
There's a time and place. Like, and I don't have a problem with you. Like, the Haunted Mansion, when they're saying the whole spiel before it goes dark and lightning, totally fine. Like, if you want to say it quietly with your group or whatever, and like when the lights turn off and everybody wants to scream, that's totally cool. But don't be obnoxious about it. Like, and there's a point where it's like there's a thing between like screaming to be fun and then screaming just to the point of like as loud as you can in the most annoying voice you can, and it's like
it's blatantly obvious why you're doing that, and everybody sees that. You're just making it more
I'm
awkward,
sorry, you
more
just
annoying.
I'm sorry, you just look like a douche.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying. Just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry about that. It's just really, guys, it's not being respectful to other people. It truly is. Like, people have spent so much money on this.
Yes.
It's like common courtesy. Because if people were doing something that annoyed you, you'd be livid. But you don't mind making other people livid or ruining ruining other people's vacations or other people's experience of an attraction just because you're there and you want to do it the way you want to do it. Like, they were built in a way so people could experience the totality of that experience, and you weren't there for that. You're not meant to be a part of that experience in certain aspects. So just let them enjoy the ride. Let them enjoy that experience. I don't know. I'm just going to stop there.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, so that was mine. So now you get to talk again.
Okay.
But I'm glad that you agree with me on that.
Yes. Okay. So another pet peeve of mine. When you go to... When you get... How do I say this? Because I think this is encompassing of a lot of things. When something doesn't happen the way you want at Disney, which it won't.
I see where you're going with this.
It's going to rain. A certain kiosk is going to run out of food, or the thing at the food type that you want at that specific kiosk. You're not going to be able to get on that specific car on that ride with your entire group. You know, like, things happen. That's just the way it is. When you have millions upon millions upon millions of people going to one place, things are not going to always work out the easiest.
And no matter how hard you plan or to what end you plan it to, things don't go according to plan.
It can't.
You have to go with the
There's
flow.
way too many factors.
But yet, so many people are just...
They just lose their crap.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I am not taking away that some people travel from a different country to come be here, and this is their big trip. They took 2 weeks off of work to come from Brazil, come from England, come from I don't care where. I get that. Disney cannot control everything. They can't control the weather. They can't control how many people order food. They can't control what might happen. Like, sorry, this t-shirt ran out. It was a very popular t-shirt. Like, Disney can't control everything. And you have to be okay with that. And you freaking out and going off on the first cast member you see cast members do not get paid enough to put up with that.
Yeah, and they don't really deserve your direct irate attitude.
They don't. Like,
It's not their fault.
No, it's not. It's completely
But since they're wearing the badge, of course you assume that they're a part of the problem, so therefore you...
It's with anything else. It's like the bagger at Pick and Save, Walmart, Trader Joe's, Costco, whatever.
Insert grocery store name.
Whatever chain you want to put in there. They did not choose how the coupon, system works or what specifically happens with the return policy. The bagger didn't choose that. That has nothing to do with it. That doesn't even have anything to do with the specific manager at that location. They didn't even get to make... So you could go all the way up to the store manager and voice your opinion and your frustration. But like when you get mad at a frontline cast member who is just ordering your food because they ran out of the ice cream popsicle that was shaped like a Mickey head that your kid didn't get. Well, first off, you can get them a lot of other places at Disney. So there's that.
Yep.
But then also, the person taking your order, they were not in charge of ordering for that location.
It comes down to just pick your battles, It's like, are you trying to make a statement? Are you trying to put on a show to maybe get your way, or somebody will give you like a different perk? I don't know what your ulterior motive is here, but honestly, pick your battles here. It's vacation.
Yeah.
Just, slough it off, move on, just have fun.
There are certain things I get that it's frustrating, and I think there are certain times when you should rightly voice your opinion to Disney. Like an example is, we were on a Bugs. What is that?
It's Tough to Be a Bug.
Tough to Be a Bug, and it's very poorly worded or very small or really doesn't explain that well. Like, yes, this ride has some freaking scary stuff in it. And I'm saying that very minimalistically. Because when you have giant, I don't know how big those spiders are if you actually measure them across.
Oh, they're
like
huge.
4-foot spiders fall down from the ceiling on top of people's heads almost.
Yeah.
You have little things, quote unquote, scurrying across your back. You have like 3D things of insects coming at you.
It bugs me.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, like the kids were upset. And whenever you go to that, the amount of kids that you hear start crying, especially after that spider scene, where the spiders just come down from the ceiling, kids go crazy.
Yep.
Well, think about it. You're in a dark room and all of a sudden it turns dark, red, and look up and you see giant spiders falling on top of you.
What kid won't freak out?
What person doesn't?
I know, that sort of brings to my thing is like the parents, of course, they pretty much plan the vacation. They take their kids along. It's just their decision making in bringing certain kids of certain age to a ride that for me is like, really?
But okay,
you knew that they were gonna freak out.
No, but
hold
on. To be fair though, with that ride, if you've never been there, you don't know exactly when it might be.
I guess.
And the signing,
and
this is where I was trying to get at. The signage really didn't explain it that well. They said, some, things might be, a little bit scary to kids. Okay, I don't know what that means. Like, are we talking about, okay, there might be like a 3D, like, kind of bug on the screen that might be scary. Not a 4-foot spider falling down from the ceiling on top of my head. Big difference. So, like, the dad was upset, and, like, his kids were, like, literally in tears, screaming. Because it's horrifying. It's a horrifying thing if you think about it. If you don't like bugs or spiders or insects, having one almost fall on your head, scary.
Yeah.
So this dad was upset, and he, was clearly like, I think rightly upset. He's like, I understand you guys have a small sign there. You guys got to make this more clear. Because, and he said it, he was like, there's a lot of people who have small kids that doesn't explain what's truly happening in this ride. He's like, and a lot of kids are getting scared, but you didn't explain exactly how intense this could be. And he was very upset about that. Like, I get it. You go in there thinking it's like it's gonna be a fun little kiddie thing. Like, it's scary to some kids. Well, what kids? 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. Like, if it can scare an adult,
chances are, it'll make kids pass out if
So
they don't stop screaming.
when adult thinks it's a little bit scary for kids, they're thinking like GPG, not something that would give adults with like borderline arachnophobia like nightmares. So it's one of those things where it's like, I get it. There are times there's a time to go at Disney and be like, you guys got to be 100% more clear. Like, make it very clear, written on there, you know, spiders and things do come down from the ceiling or something. Make it a little bit more clear. There's times to be upset with Disney, but a lot of times I've seen people just go off on cast members for nothing, for no reason. And I'm always the person to be a lot more gracious, probably, which people are a lot like, you don't really sound that gracious right now. Barring my anger on some of these issues.
Well, we felt like it was a need to be brought up. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many injustices that are happening in the parks that you can clearly just do without.
And don't get me wrong, I'll hit my bat at Disney when they need to be whacked. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, we're not saying we're perfect too, but these are the things that we've noticed that are apparent that it's like, come on.
Well, no, and to the point where it's like, when you're going to Disney, and I've had things not work out or things that I didn't like, and I was frustrated, so what? Don't take it out on the cast members. I'm sorry, most of them do not make those decisions. And by most, I mean 90% of those cast members make no decisions on those things.
Nope.
And so whether it's a theme park, whether it's a resort, I heard a story when they started taking away all like the shampoos and like soaps.
Oh yeah, sure.
Away from like all the resorts.
Yeah, like the ones that you can actually move around instead of.
Yeah, not the ones that are in the tubes.
Bolted in, yeah.
Yeah, so like those ones, I heard of some stories of people like losing their minds on people, like the cast members. What are they called? Not caretakers.
The
maids, whatever you want to call them. The people who actually go in and clean the rooms and all that stuff. Like, I've saw like on threads and things like that. Like, dude, people lost their minds on those. It's like, dude, they go in there just to replace stuff. Do you think they have any decision-making process on what no longer happens at all resorts?
No.
At all. Nothing. Their job is purely go in there, take things out, put new things back in. They don't get to decide even what kind of soaps they get to use, let alone what soaps you get to use.
Yeah, calm down.
I'm sorry, just these cast members do not get paid enough to deal with your anger. Yes, if something's frustrating you, are they paid to try to help resolve it? Yes. They don't need you spitting in their face from screaming. If you're that upset, find a manager. And even then, the manager probably can't do something because they have to go to an upper. But seriously, don't complain to the cast member. They don't get to make a choice. It's as simple as that.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
They just happen to be in the front lines, you know, and I feel bad for them when that happens because it's like they didn't ask for this. They don't have any power to change anything, you know. It's just, I guess, let the person vent and
yeah. I mean, I've heard of
de-escalate if anything.
Well, that's the whole thing. I've heard of cast members that are literally like getting cussed out, screaming, like threatened with violence, like things like this. It's like, well, one, if you ever threaten a cast member, you're gone. Like, you could potentially get permanently banned from Disney World.
Yep.
Never, ever, ever, ever threaten a cast member or another guest.
And honestly, there's no reason to. I mean, I was in line and a couple of, like an older gentleman and then an older woman got into it over just something completely trivial. I don't even remember, but I remember feeling so awkward because they were like, you know, like almost on the brink of shoving each other into the other people in the line. I'm like, what are you getting so worked up about?
Yeah.
People, come on.
It's ridiculous. But, okay, so when it comes to this idea, just if you're angry or frustrated when things don't go your way, it is not other guests' fault. It's not cast members' fault.
Yeah.
It's just the way the world works. Things do not go your way. You're not owed anything just because you're at Disney World. Disney's going to try. They're going to try to do the best they can with the situation. just don't lose your mind on them. They just don't.
I know, and that's the thing too. When people think, oh, this is the most magical place, what I say goes, or I will get my way no matter what. That's a very naive and frankly selfish thing to think.
Childish.
I mean, come on, yeah, it's not mature at all. Okay, come on, just get a grip. And speaking about, Disney World and with how popular it's gotten over, the last couple of years, more adults are seeing it as a way to go there. Granted, when I was a kid, I always thought it was just like a kid's place where families would go. But now I'm seeing, with World Showcase, you getting a lot of people who like to drink around the world.
Oh, I was literally wanting to bring that up again.
See? Yeah, so that's one of my pet peeves. It's like, okay, I get it. You like to drink. I mean, who doesn't like to throw a couple back? But you have to be responsible here, folks. Like, there's nothing worse than having a bunch of drunken dudes or even girls staggering in zigzagging lines just around World Showcase, being obnoxious, laughing, spilling. It just makes me speechless in the bad way. It's like, really? Come on. Humanity, let's put our good foot forward here.
This episode is making me so mad. I'm trying to show some self-control here. Okay. I'm trying so hard.
Right?
Because I want to flip my gasket with some of this stuff. When you go to Disney World, the point of Disney World and Disneyland and the Disney parks, it was not meant to be a drunk fest.
No.
Walt Disney didn't even want alcohol in the parks.
I know. I'm still a little salty about that. It's like, really, why would you invite that?
Okay,
People are not responsible. I'm sorry. People are not responsible.
No, it's especially during Food and Wine. For goodness sakes.
It's a non-stop issue.
To the point where people don't even want to go on Fridays and Saturdays because they know all the young, dumb people come and drink their brains out.
Yep. And then don't get me started if you're with your significant other or if you're with a gal pal or whatever and you decide to get a little handsy and PDA. That is just,
goodness.
It's like, I want to just claw my eyes out. Please do not do that in front of me because you have also kids and families walking around that are expecting, a family-friendly atmosphere, and you're just feeling each other up. You're doing other things as well. It's like, come on.
I don't.
Oh.
Guys, I love scotch, bourbon, beer. I have a couple pipes that I smoke tobacco with. I have a humidor for cigars. I'm not a prude when it comes to those things. I'm totally cool with all of you having a nice drink, whatever. I don't mind that. When you come to Disney and the point of it is let's drink a ton, don't come there for that.
No,
Go somewhere else. You can go to a bar and get a cheaper drink than at Disney.
Honestly, yeah. And still have the same experience. Because you won't remember it.
And once again, people did not come to see you drink. Mm-hmm. People did not come to see... I'm sorry. I'll be as flat out honest as I can. When you get that drunk and you're around people, you don't look cool. You look dumb. You look like an idiot.
Yeah, who's about to get kicked out. But yet, we never see him get kicked out.
But everybody else now has to put up with you and all the stuff that's coming out of your mouth and all of your behaviors. Yep. And what you said, with people making out and... Once again, there's millions of other places you could go to. Why do you have to do that here? Now, I'm not talking about something simple like a kiss. I'm not talking about holding hands.
No.
That's something I proposed to my wife in front of the Magic Kingdom and I gave her a kiss.
Yeah, those are sweet. They're fine.
That's cool. But, even if you're not drinking and you're groping your girlfriend in public, I don't want to see you groping your girlfriend's butt when my kids are there. I don't want to see it normally, but my kids are here.
Which makes it doubly worse.
And there's tons of other kids. It's one thing when you're doing it in front of adults, but it's can you let these kids try to remain innocent for as long as possible?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if it's your goal to act like that when you're at Disney, I think you need to realign your priorities too. I mean, come on.
It's one of those things where it's like, this is supposed to be that magical place, like that innocent place where your inner child can come out.
Yeah.
So that's like for the adults. But when you have actual children there, like enough of the
We're impressionable too, you know?
with enough crap going on in the world, do you really need to bring that into the Magic Kingdom? Do you need to bring that to Epcot? Do you need to bring that to anything that Disney's doing? Like, people, like kids are struggling enough as it is right now with everything that happens.
Right.
To put your stupidity out there in front of the kids, it's like, just don't. Like, I'm not saying don't have a drink, and it's like, yes, sometimes, you know, you can get a little rowdy and a little happy, that's whatever. But we're talking about the people that just totally abuse the system.
Take it to the next level.
Are just blatantly don't care
Yep.
about families and kids and other people there. Once again, you are not the center point of why people go to Disney.
No.
If you want to be the center point for drinking, go to a frat party. Like, honestly, that's cool. At Disney, that's not cool. It just looks dumb. Don't do that.
Yep. Don't be those guys.
Like, honestly, I'll straight up say it. Like, if my kids see that and they ask me why they're doing that, I'm like, because they don't care about people. They're being disrespectful, and it's like, don't look at them. We'll just walk on past, but they are being disrespectful to everybody here, and they should be ashamed of themselves. That's what I teach my kids. When you're doing that, when you're drunken in public like that at Disney or whatever, anywhere, but especially at Disney, it's like, no, come on, people. You're not getting an ounce, not even an ounce of any kind of respect from me. None.
Yeah.
We're going to lose a lot of people on this episode, which is fine. We don't have that many viewers anyway. But it's seriously, you guys, it's truly, we want people to have like a good time, a fun time.
We do.
But there are things that truly ruin guest experiences, cast members' experiences.
Yep.
Because think about it. When you get drunk and a fight breaks out or issues happen, then the cast members have to get involved. And then that's taken away from other guest experiences. Just because of things like that. It's that thing of like, you're not the center of the world. Think about things in a way, it's how is this going to affect other people?
Right. And then if you maintain that attitude or get worse, you're only just making your time, your memories, your experiences worse for yourself. You know, just go there to have fun. But again, you have to, I think, be able to be proactive and look into the future to, like, if you are wanting to drink or if you're wanting to do certain things, have some foresight to know how bad it would get to then stop yourself. You know, like, at least that's what a normal human being would do. At least that's what I would do to even prevent myself from acting like a total fool. And I hope other people can realize that and also use that kind of mentality. But some people just, I don't know why they don't do it.
I get it. Not everybody's gonna have the same rules for themselves or whatever, but it's that simple idea of like, I can have a couple drinks while I'm at Disney, whatever, but a little bit of self-awareness of what you're doing, where you're at, and who's watching.
Yeah, it just comes down to public versus private, okay? You know, there are certain things that you have to uphold in both scenarios. It's okay with you doing whatever in private because no one is else around or no one's sharing that experience with you. In public, though, anybody can see it. Anybody can, you know.
Once again, this brings up another issue that it's just a side bad thing. If people record you, or if anything, that's forever. Like, if you and your friends get to drinking and they post it on social media, hey, we got hammered at the Royal Crown. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Royal Crown or
pub,
whatever.
Yeah.
The pub in England. Rosencrown at England. And that gets posted live, and your employer looks at it and be like, not only were you drunk, you got drunk at Disney. Like, that doesn't look good. It's one thing if it's at your home, and that's like, okay, that's kind of like, we'll still hire you. We're kind of being stupid at home, but it's one of those things that's like, you don't seem to care about making an idiot of yourself in public. that doesn't look good for a company.
Yep.
Like that, these things like can last forever.
Yes, exactly.
And it's just,
I know.
we want people to have a good experience at Disney. And that's why these things are like, just don't do them. Like, you can make other people happy, you can make the guests happy, you can make the cast members happy. You make yourself happier in the long run because, once again, you want your experiences at Disney to be memorable. And certain things that you do could make sure you never get allowed in again.
Forever.
Yeah. So, okay. That was one. Ooh, we both got on that one.
We did. I know. We hopped on that. Another one is, well, I mean, now in today's day and age with social distancing, hopefully, it will be few and far between. But in the past, though, I call these people like close-up pushers. Like when it comes to fireworks or parades or anything where, the closer the better so you can enjoy it. You get these people who come in late and they just like, nudge and worm their way to the front, have no, regard of other people who are already there enjoying their time, and they just completely break your personal bubble, and they try, to just, again, be selfish, very egocentric, and try to get the best view as possible, even though they're like the last ones there. I don't like those people who just aren't respectful. It's like, well, get there earlier, or, I mean, there's no excuse for you to push around people or try to make a space between people so you can get closer. I mean, come on.
No, I definitely get that.
Right?
No.
I know. It's a small thing, but it's like, I would never do that. And why are you doing this? Do you think you're entitled to a better view than me? Yeah, it's just, you have to understand that just be respectful of people, and if you get there earlier, you will get a better, closer seat. Be proactive.
So yeah, I mean, there's things like that. Like another one that I have is just like this is in general, but I mean, like all this stuff is like in general. Like, right, you should be acting this way in life, right? Like that's clear. But like one of the things that, well, this bugs me in general, but like when we're at Disney, it's like, I feel like, I don't want to say it's worse. It's just not good. Just don't do it in public, especially at Disney. It's like, dude, I don't care how many cuss words you know. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody else does. Like, seriously, watch the way you talk. Like, honestly, like, once again, there are so many kids around. Like, there's a sense of like, I understand we're human, we can't control our emotions all the time, but it's like, work on your vocabulary a little bit. Like,
it's like you're using them as a noun or verb, and an adjective. Come on. Come on.
It's like when there's kids around, it's things like that. It's like, can you please just try a little bit to not just totally ruin these kids as early as possible? Like, honestly, like, I don't understand why you have to use that language around little kids. Like, and then people are like, oh, kids are always misbehaving. But it's like, if they can't hear it, they can't get away from it at home. They can't get away from it in grocery stores, public. But then you think at Disney World, the kids have this imagination of, oh, it's gonna be fun, everybody's gonna be happy, it's gonna be all this, and then all the adults just nonstop just use that language like it's something just normal. And it's like, it's so annoying. Just please watch your language and how you talk and the way you talk to people in front of these kids. There's so many kids that go to Disney World. Like, everybody says it's a kids thing for a very valid reason. Kids are meant to go there. Walt Disney meant it for families and their kids.
And then for adults to express their inner kid, to be young again, to be uninhibited and to have a good time. Throw their cares off for a little bit, enjoy the day.
But just watch your language. Please try to watch language. Because when you start using certain words, like, I don't want to have to explain to my kids what some of those words mean. I didn't want my kids to hear them at all.
Yep, and then it's on you to explain it to them when you didn't even want it in the first place.
Yeah, I have to explain those words Yeah, because of the fact that you don't have a good vocabulary, because you don't have a little bit more self-control.
Right.
Just because you wanted to say something was awesome, you had to throw the F-bomb in there beforehand, because that made it much better.
Yeah.
Like, just don't. Like that's the whole point. Like, the amount of stuff that like parents have to deal with for their kids. It's, once again, parents want to go there and take their kids there, and they don't want to have to like make it even harder on themselves because other people are just making things worse. Sorry. Okay, do you have anything else?
I just have one more.
Okay.
That's more of like wrapping it up. I don't know where we're at, or if we're
For time,
coming up.
I feel like we're probably at a very.
I think we might be.
I feel like we're way past it, actually.
Really? Well, okay. Well, my last one is just saying that even though we have a lot of conniptions with certain, ways that people act at Disney, one thing you should not do is not go to Disney and not experience it. It's a great place. I know it's
not the way I'm gonna end it.
It's a huge switch for me. I mean, even though there are a lot of negatives, or you just can't control the other people around you, it is a great vacation spot. I've been going there every year since 1997. Don't plan on stopping. It's my home away from home. Disney does everything so well, and yeah, it brings a little bit of magic in your life, even though magic isn't real. The way that they go about it or set up their world down there is quite unlike anything else. So I would say to those of you who have never done Disney, please give it a shot. Of course, there are positives and negatives, but for me, I think there are more positives that weigh more than the negatives, even though the negatives, we can rarely control because they're external with other people, which was the majority of this episode. So that's what I'm gonna leave you with on my Disney don't list.
He was all happy, and I'm gonna end it with another one that just makes me mad.
Okay, here we go, Chris. Let's
That's just
do
what
it.
I do. He's the positive one. I'm the pessimist.
Disney
one.
Detective, by the way, we didn't say our little code
Oh
names.
yeah, I'm your number one ghost host.
There we go. Better late than never, right? Yeah.
So here's the last thing that I have. I mean, there's probably tons more that I'm not even thinking about, but here's the last one I have for you guys. I see this with everybody, and it annoys me to no end. And I'm totally at fault at this too. Everybody is, and I think we have to try so much harder to work at this, especially right now with the time period we're in, with where everything's going. Try to limit the amount of time when you're on your phone. Get off your phone. Like, I understand sometimes, like, and I'm a camera person, video. Like, the last time we went to Disney, I had 6 hours of video. 6 hours.
Wow.
So imagine how much time recording during the trip to get 6 full hours of video.
6 hours, yeah.
So I'm totally behind that. I'm totally behind taking pictures and video and making memories and having those memories for later. I get that. But but you have to get off from behind the camera. You have to get away from your phone. Like, I get it. Most people don't have like a very nice DSLR camera like I have. And that's fine. But like,
you have a smartphone. You can
have
a pic or two,
yeah,
but
get off of your phone. Get off the technology. Get off the tablet. Like,
just
you don't
be in the moment.
Yeah, because it's like you want to make this memory with your kids, and your kids. And sorry, everybody today it's just everybody's got their freaking face in their phones.
Yeah.
And that's what kids are seeing.
Yep. And I think it's this whole shift to where people want to indirectly brag about where they're at. So they share everything, they record everything to then share with their friends, with some, just like, people who, come across their page on Instagram or whatever, and saying, oh, look at where I'm at, instead of just enjoying it in the moment, because I think that devalues your memories where you're at if you're always on your phone, if you're looking through your phone at what you're supposed to experience. There's just something about being totally just uninhibited by your phone, being an actual human being, and just soaking it in completely, directly, no middleman or middle thing involved,
Yeah. Like, I'm really trying, because this is what's going to ruin kids. there's multiple things that ruin kids. As you can tell, kids is one of the, you want to get me mad, get me on the topic of kids and how they're ruined. But one of the things that ruins kids is all the time, I see it all the time, when the kids are like, Mommy, Daddy, can you come swimming in the pool with me? Mommy, Daddy, can we do this? And it's just this, yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, okay, yep, just hold on 1 second. It's, get off the phone! Your kid wants your attention. Your kid is only going to be a kid for so long. They don't care what's on your phone. What they see is Mommy and Daddy are on their phones, not paying attention to me at Disney World. The place where this kid has always wanted to go, this place where it's going to be, we're on vacation with Mommy and Daddy at a family place. And Mommy and Daddy are on their phones. Get off of the phone. Your kids are not going to remember all the fun little nuances of what you had to do to answer a message. What, like you said, Twitter thing or text message. Your kids are going to remember that you were on the phone all the time. On the laptop all the time, on the tablet. Like, I get it. Like, I'm on my phone too. There's been studies done where when people actually have anxiety and there's chemical issues going on when people can't leave their phones down.
Yeah.
Put your phone down.
It's
like,
crazy.
your kids want to be with you. Your family wants to be with you. Your siblings want to be with you. Like the point of going on that vacation is to do something with your family, not to do something with your phone and your family happens to be there. It's ridiculous. When you look at it, you could be in a queue interacting with your kids about something fun about the queue, something interesting about the art, something interesting about the technology or the Imagineering or anything like that. But instead of engaging their minds, engaging them where they're at, and making that a fun discussion for them to grow in your relationship with them, to grow their imagination, to grow their interests, to help them grow, what they grow in is seeing you on the phone. That just constantly feeds that idea that we're on the phone. Like, I understand taking pictures with your kids. I understand taking pictures of your kids and recording them. Like, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I had a discussion with my wife. Like, what happens if we were planning on going to Disney this world? We're not going to, just because we don't want to deal with the new guidelines that Disney's dealing with right now. We may not even go back next year because if some of the guidelines change, then we still have to deal with the 50th anniversary.
Yep, one thing after another.
So that's just going to be a mess. But my wife asked me, she's like, if you do this, well, you have a podcast now. You know, you're going to have to take pictures and post that you're on social media and do all these things. And I'm like, yep. And in my brain, I'm like, I could just take pictures and post them later. I don't need to be on my phone.
Yeah.
Because I got a nice DSLR camera that I spent, $1,200 on. I'll just take a bunch of pictures, I'll edit them, and then we can post them later. I don't need to do all that stuff and be on social media all the time and all this stuff because I have a podcast. I'm going to Disney to be on vacation with my family, and I just so happen to have a podcast. I don't have a podcast, and I just so happen to have a family. That's not the way it works. You have a family that you're going on a vacation with, and it just so happens that you live in a time where there's a phone. Like, get off the phone. Your family is more important than whatever is on your phone. I'm sorry. Like, this is something that just drives me up a wall. Right. Like, to no end. Like, the amount of times it's everywhere. But especially at Disney, when kids are running around and doing all this stuff, having so much fun. And I could literally look at a sea of people just sitting on their phones like this. When there's a bunch of little kids running around. It's like, all of these adults are just staring at their freaking phone when their kids want to be engaged. Mm-hmm. It drives me so mad.
Yep. And then you see that potential of those kids running around turning into those. It's like, well, how can we stop that? But it's like, is that inevitable? Is that where the future is leading us?
And regardless of that, it's going to lead to that because as technology happens, there's enough history to show that as things change, people change with technology. Yeah. But people can change with technology, that's fine. You only get one chance to engage your kids at this age. Like, when they're...
No take-backs, no do-overs.
Yeah, like, my daughter, she was having a nightmare last night, and just was like crying, and then said, "Daddy," because I heard her, so I walked into her room, and she was like, "Daddy, I'm scared. I don't want to be alone." So I just sat next to her because she has like a little bed that's kind of low. So I sat next to her. I just put my arm, on her pillow, and I just put my head down, and I just laid next to her, and I was just like massaging her head and trying to get her back to sleep. Like just taking that in, because my daughter's 3. She's never going to be 3 again. Like that idea of like her wanting me to help comfort her because she's scared. I know one day she's going to get married and she won't need me for comfort. Like, I know that's going to happen, but I have my 3-year-old daughter who loves me more than anything, and for me to sacrifice that for a freaking tweet, for a stupid like on Facebook, like, come on. You guys, your kids, your friends, your fiance, your husband, your parents, your grandparents, you only have them for so long, and to sacrifice that for a little bit of attention for people you will never meet that are thousands of miles away, could care less about you and your family, except for the fact that you're providing them entertainment, to sacrifice it for that, to sacrifice your family for that, is not worth it. Like, if it came down to easily, like, this is ruining my family, I'll give up the podcast. This podcast is nothing compared to what it means for my kids and my wife. If this was causing an issue with them, that we're done. And everybody,
I understand that too. Yeah.
Everybody agrees with that, but then when it comes to living it out in a park, they're like, "Yeah, Chris, that makes sense. Yeah, of course you should." But you don't mind doing that, like, right here. Just, these are formative moments with your kids. And even if they're not your kids, if you're going on vacation with your parents aren't going to be here forever. Get off your phone. You don't have no idea. Like, we have no idea.
Life's not meant to be.
Sorry, I'm going on a rant. going on a rant.
Yeah, but life's not meant to be spent in front of a screen. I mean, come on.
Well, and that's the whole
thing. So much more.
Like, I don't get a guarantee that I'm gonna have my wife around. Like, my wife doesn't have a guarantee that I'm gonna be around. My kids don't have a guarantee I'm gonna be around. What happens if I get into a car accident? Like, all of these things to once again sacrifice a couple seconds on a phone, which turns into minutes and hours, and
you can't take it back. You can't rewind the clock, unfortunately. So I think that was a good list that
turned into much deeper than I thought, and
it's a solid list.
I thought we were going to be done about a half hour ago, and I think this one turned into an hour.
Wow, can you believe that? But hey, I mean, these are good stuff, good things to just at least be made aware of. So I don't know.
I think that was pretty much it. I think that was good.
It was. Yeah, so
can we just leave with this?
Yes.
Guys, neither of us are trying to be mean towards people.
No.
We're not trying to berate people or harass people. It's not that. It's simply, we want anybody who goes to Disney, don't do these things because we want to make your experience better, the cast members' experience better, other guests' experience better, your family, your kids, wife, spouse, brother, sister, mom, dad, grandparents, whoever. If you're spending $5,000 on a trip, make it a good trip. That's a lot of money. We just want we said Disney don't, not because we hate those people. We said Disney don't because we love those people enough to try to help them with a better experience.
Yes, very well said.
All right, Joe.
I think that's a good way to sign off. So this is your one place to get your Disney fix. So make sure to follow us on all the social medias. We love hearing from you. Let us know how you liked about this episode. A little bit more serious, but yet still something that I think was worth touching upon. So.
Definitely. All right, Joe. It was a good time.